Okay, everybody, welcome back to this incredibly odd thing that we're doing. Shannon, do you have a hint for us? Do you tell us where the... Oh, yeah, you tell us where the wind orb is, not the water orb. Well... but... that's okay. So... I don't need to go this way. Oops. So we don't actually have to go fight Guilty because we already have the wind orb. At least we should. Yeah, see right there. We can fight him later for the EXP, but for the time being, not exactly a useful thing, and we want to level up our fire anyway for what's his name? And by that, I mean whoever's possibly down there. I mean, it could just be Solvering, who's just waiting around to, like, show up randomly, like... Mentally, I'm just like, oh yeah, he probably just shows up and does, like, makes some fucking Ultimate Warrior noises, and then just elbow drops Brian and then disappears back into the mist. Hey. I know that there's actual lore in this game. There's a small amount of it. But also, I mean... it's very interesting, I think, also, at least to me, because this is an era by which at least some form of rudimentary cutscene was the regular thing, you know? We had 2D, like, pseudo cutscenes. Oh, hey. I think I missed that one last time. I mean, he hurts so much that he may as well just have a gun. Anyway, I don't have a good memory, but we're gonna try with this. And I gotta say that, because this is where the game really started bearing its fangs last time with really mean-ass, really mean-ass encounters, that nothing we can face here could possibly, I think, be worse than what we were dealing with in Mega Man and Base recently. Okay, yeah, these guys are watertight. We have... okay, so we do have Vampire's Touch. Do we have Power Staff right now? No, we have Confusion. Unless we do have Power Staff somewhere that I don't know where it is. Doesn't look like it. But I'll use this anyway because, I mean, this is, like, disgustingly hard to dodge, so... at the very least, we may as well do something that can help us, like, stanch the pain and also get a little bit of work done at the same time. And by that, I mean we're gonna eat a bread and... yeah, we're not exactly in the nicest position to deal with a lot of this in general, because, boy, that comes fast, and also it shoots straight, not sideways. I keep thinking it's the Rolling Rock one from last time, and it's not. It most definitely is not. Oh, you guys move! I'm sure I've seen that, but it doesn't seem familiar. Ah, crud. It does kind of feel like we got some pretty terrible spells, though, by the way. Like, we've got an attack spell that has range. Although I guess on our elements that we've been ignoring, there's probably stuff. Do I not have another fire spell yet? It seems, yeah, I guess it doesn't, yeah, because I guess fire's early, spell learning is pretty damn slow, actually, now that I think about it. I probably should have the blue cave map open from last time if I can remember where the... Oh, boy. Ooh, hopefully these guys aren't dealing too much damage to us. Oh god, they deal like 30 a whack. We gotta clean these guys out pretty fast. Oh wait, no, we can just get in the melee range with them. And they'll do whatever that trash is. Unfortunately, a big problem here is, like, discern their turn order and that kind of thing. Oh, that heals them. Well, big whoop. I can heal myself too. I can hide myself to repair myself. God, why would I reference Mega Man X6 of all things? Gross. Yeah, I remember that it was 13 is the next one, but I was like, wait a sec. I feel like everything else gets like an early spell, but it's probably just wind. And by probably, I mean definitely, and I'm forgetful. Oh yeah, of course that thing's full health, right? Yay, we got one of those. Just a second, I'm gonna go pull up that map. Yeah, here we go. Because otherwise, yeah, I'll be... Ooh, that's not great. That's, like, super late for that, too, even. Just... Game giving me the business a little bit here. Are you close enough to... Yeah, okay. Good positioning found, finally. Anything good? That is sounding like a debuff, so no. On the other hand, I guess we can switch over to water, like, as soon as we are done with this end of the universe. Okay, 16 for next fire. When does it start getting the ones that are, like, off the... Well, I'd say off the pattern of one every 3 levels, but that's less of a pattern than I'm acting like it is. Okay, so yeah, all right, they're doing is walking. That makes sense. That it's a water tower from that visual. Because yeah, at melee range they would do that. So that way they can guarantee hits. Go for some more physical damage here and try to get some HP experience. 24. Okay, yeah, so it does go for a pattern of 1 every 3 levels for a little bit. And remember, because that's also the same pattern that we get basically from the start, so all the way up to 22. God, I know Fire Pillar is something that doesn't deal damage, which is real helpful in a situation like this because we have so few damage sources on our hands at this point. Wow, okay, they're using defense up and not evasion up, but unfortunately Brian is still as blind as a bat, so he can't hit them. Alright, we're 3 for 4 so far on misses. That's some pretty good odds. You know, you take those. I'm a competitive Pokemon player now. That's right, fuck you. I'll run Zap Cannon on everything. Okay, let's not go that far, but... $34 for net. Brian? Use both eyes, or at least one of them. That was some RNG, all right. It's usually not that bad. Usually it at least does something. Usually we at least get somewhere. Whatever. Oh. That wasn't a useful choice. Oh. Oh. I mean. Well, funnily enough, I'm turning 34 in a little short of a month. What if I could actually, like, complete a VTuber design by then, and then it would be funny in a kind of terrible way, but, Alright, now, Brian, let's get in close. And this one you're going to actually be able to hit, right? I mean, it does have an agility stat, alright. I don't know what any of the other enemies had around here, so... Again, maybe that's to account for it, because we're not exactly super impressive in that regard. Says the branching path is not already here, is it? Oh wait, I was gonna say, are there 5 of them? No, it's just that we're also... Holy fuck, our ability to land attacks here is just not. It's kind of dire. Granted, we have 31 agility, and I'm pretty sure that agility determines both evasion rate and accuracy. So I kind of understand it. We kind of haven't been, like, running around too much in battles. Clearly what I need to do is, after I finish today's session, however far in I get, I need to just go open a fight and band my controller off at a diagonal so I can run around in circles for... Wait, no, it's determined not like that. Never mind. Why am I looking at that? It's not... Okay, so signage, so we... No, there's nothing at that branch. Never mind. Right, which... yeah, that does make sense. But also... Oh, I was gonna say, you're not far enough away to use your debuff, are you? And apparently it is. It just decides, well, actually, I don't feel like being a team player today. There we go. Oh, I get it. Because they put him in everything. Oh, wait. You meant the lore location, not the studio. Actually, I don't know that they've stuck Scorpion in a whole lot of, like, crossovers of any of their other... Then again, I'm pretty sure that NetherRealm Studios has literally only done Mortal Kombat and Injustice. So, not a whole lot of room there for that, either. And also with all the branch timelines and stuff, well... Anyway, we just keep going straight for a little while here, and you know how much I enjoy that. Anyway. Okay, good. Everything's coming up Millhouse here. We should be able to get out of this without taking any damage whatsoever. Now, whether or not we'll actually properly heal is a whole other issue, because... Yeah, I could just go on a missing streak now that I have Vampire Touch on. Everything's fine. But we'd managed to manipulate things such that we wouldn't be taking more damage. Just a sec here, I'm turning on a fan. Yeah, I had them all off because it actually wasn't that hot out today, which is messed up. I'm not used to that in this kind of summer. It's been so nasty for so long. I had to have them on while I was recording, so you can only imagine how good that sounds. It's something VTuber. Wait, oh. Never mind. Okay, so this should... Is this the branch that... Yes, this looks like it anyway. We go this way, and there should be a treasure chest. Hey, nice dodge. Hey, nice dodge. Ice Knife is a debuff, so it's just a defense down of some kind. So yeah, it's pretty much free. These guys are the most dangerous thing that we've seen so far. Because all they cast is the lightning bolt spell, which homing arrow spell, pardon me, which is walking water, and it's fast as fuck, and also it does a lot of damage for this part of the game. Like it's doing like 20 damage or something. And by like 20 damage, I mean like more like 25 damage. We got a new spell, by the way, on fire, and it's called Flaming Prison. I don't know what that is, because obviously at this point we haven't seen anything with Fireball level 3, because the game kind of fairly goes, yeah, it's a little too much of a shotgun for you to deal with. They also cast one of the healing spell. Do they do that when they're just like idle or something, when they're too far away? Because I don't remember that at all. But in this case, yeah, let's take a look. Yes, that's in prison. Well, fuck. The game really does not seem to want to give us damage moves. Alright, can you just, like, skip your turn or something, buddy? Yeah, so... depending on what the spells... Yeah, because if it's healing level 1, that's... I think, like... Oh, it did skip its turn. I thought it was just still farting around. Whoops. So, yeah, if it's healing 1, that is a damage spell that I'm pretty sure is Fireball level 3. If it's healing level 2... Oh, wow, my Vampire's Touch fell off immediately. If it's healing level 2, then it's a Power Staff of some description. Okay, so they get a buff. That's... I don't know which of those is worse, but I don't particularly like either option, so I'm just gonna say... Yeah. Okay, so if I... So this is a place where we can hit everybody, but we're gonna take a bunch of damage. Oh, it only boosts physical attack? Okay, so it's actually a completely safe move. I just would have to... I would have to figure out how to set them up to do just that in order to defang them, and I don't 100% know how to manipulate their attack pattern offhand. Like, these guys are much easier. We can just get between a bunch of them and just be like, well, hey, yeah, good luck. As I just end up in a string of misses, which causes them to heal all their HP, and the fights take forever, but they are technically free. Right, because it actually does physical attacks. Meanwhile, crawlers are just complete nothing burger enemies. These can't hurt us. And granted, it's gonna take us like years to actually properly kill them, but still. At the very least, they seem to have a toughness level like 0.1 or something. This is monstrously ineffectual. It is reducing the damage they take by like 5. So we got a branching path here. This looks like... does what I'm thinking. Might not, though. Okay, so there we go. That one's far enough away to just Power Staff. The other one, not so much. Yeah, a lot of the... I think at the very least, a lot of the danger there will depend very heavily on what else they're using, so... But yeah. Well, right, Pinhead has a melee attack, I believe. And Red Wyvern... Red Wyvern does something else besides the Fireball Shotgun, I just can't remember what it is. It's not Fire Pillar, because that's normal Wyvern, and we've seen Fire Pillar, and we've seen that it is kind of useless. Ugh, excuse me. Oh, right. So that's... I'm pretty sure we've seen that, but I don't remember what it is. It's not what that guy's doing, though. That's using Homing Arrow level 1. I know we've seen it before, but I've forgotten what it is my problem. Since I have very bad memory, but I'm sure we'll find out eventually. Yeah, so that shouldn't be too big of a problem, unless its lackeys are just, like, awful. Which they very well could be. I forget. I don't think it was that dangerous, though. It's a weird path bulge here. That's right, I was like, did we have a thing that did lava balls? But I don't believe we do. Okay, yeah, that is what I was looking for. I just was like, where is it, though? Because I have a very small, weird bug brain thing. There it is. Okay. Ah, yes, it looks like we got another debuff. We got a slowing effect. Okay. Hooray! We got a movement reduction for an enemy that doesn't move. Yay. I mean, we could get there eventually. It depends on what things are going to be looking like for us. It's amazing just how few damage spells I'm getting in fire right now. It's just like, this is the least aggressive fire that I've gotten, possibly. It looked like it stayed in place, so it must have been moving that slowly. So hooray, slow, that's basically useless. Well, if it doesn't reduce the frame rate of the enemy, then no, the spell doesn't sound like it's very effective. Just creates a localized lag effect. That feels like a description that you'd get for, like, one of those sort of, you know, online hero shooter type of things. Because, like, all of them, I feel like, have some sort of high-tech, like, oh, hey, this character is themed like a hacker, but we gave them a gun. Like, you know, like the guys who looked at Shadowrun and they thought all the magic stuff was a little bit too, well, I don't want to say the word, but you understand what kind of person I'm making fun of here, so. Anyway, localized lag effect. That would be fucked up if it was real. Alright, here's another completely free enemy that we can just bonk to death. And probably miss like 100 times on the way. And yeah, I did see the thing. I think you said a thing that was something like, oh yeah, we found evidence of a very early incomplete currency system in older builds of the game or something to that effect. Or in the game's data or something like that, which... Man, this... It's so weird, all the stuff that's in here that's unused, but I guess this game must have been rushed because... They were like, oh yeah, we gotta compete with Zelda, the game in a completely different genre that people are too stupid to know is different. Then again, I'm sure that you could get someone around this era who is like, oh, is that similar to Myst? We weren't exactly talking about an era of intelligent consumers, and in fact, we frankly aren't even nowadays. So maybe I'm talking shit a little bit, you know, in the wrong direction here, out of the wrong pocket, as it were. Which truly does not sound like what I mean it to sound like, I guess, but it is what it is. And 22 is going to be our next fire spell, right? Yeah. All right. So now, we don't gotta worry about anything until we get down to the maze area. At which point there are 3 spirits and 2 chests to pick up in there, it looks like. And speaking of Myst, I gotta admit, I'm surprised that they didn't try to put that on the Sega CD. Like I said before, that's the only game that I own for the Sega Saturn. I should probably pick up a Sega Saturn at some point. And, well, see how painful it is to, you know, sideload software, as it were. That's not the actual correct term in this case, because you're not, but, you know, I'm the sort of person who, A, will do it for a joke, but also, B, sometimes is genuinely afraid that somebody's going to be listening in, and if I say the P word, they're going to be all aggrieved at me about it, even though, I mean, clearly a very large amount of people do it on this platform to begin with. And it, quite frankly, I would say that games acquired through extra legal means, I would say that most streamers on the platform do that. In fact, I would go so far as to say that, hey, maybe you could make an argument that it powers Twitch, and without it, this website would be dirt. In fact, I'm doing it right now. I have a cart of Quest 64, but I don't have a way to dump the game image. Again, walking around the word ROM. Oh shit. Even though, yeah, read-only memory, that's what it is, but also game image is technically true insofar as like disk image is the correct thing. You could call it a cartridge image and sound like a total freak, because nobody says that to my knowledge. They probably do, actually, especially in more like technically minded circles. But listen, people still call disk images of of like PlayStation games and shit like that ROMs, which, I mean, it is a type of read-only memory, but also I would think that ROM would be specifically defined by the presence of ROM chips, whereas very pointedly, a CD does not contain any chips whatsoever. Although, yes, it is technically a CD-ROM, so... Like, clearly I'm getting way too into this for no real reason, but... I don't know, the inspiration, I guess, struck me, and here we are. Excuse me. I wish it would stay around like the temperature it was at the beginning of the day for longer, so that way I could get a window open. Just for a little bit. Otherwise, I have to like actually go outside and stuff to get fresh air. Horrible. Long walk we got here, huh? Alright, now I'm pretty sure I don't have Aurora visuals for anything, so I don't have to worry about crashing the game in here. So that's good. Probably good. No, probably. Wait. Oh right, yeah, but these guys have a splitting large cutter basically. No wait, no, it's because it's fireballs. That's why. So it has their damage. All right, so we got exit. That's handy, but also like, again with no damage. Plus, we have a fire pillar coming up, which is not useful either. But we do have a good number of spirits on the hidden island, I think. Plus, there's still one in the back of the cave after we complete everything. So I am going to keep going forward with this and see if maybe we can get some decent spells on fire, or if somehow we can get RNG that gives us even worse of a fire branch than in the main game. Oh. I was gonna say, because otherwise, look at how little well, never mind, I can't demonstrate it. This thing has dodged 3 fucking attacks in a row. The hell was that RNG? Oh, right, it's movement up. That's actually, never mind, that's a good buff. A decent buff, anyway. Anyway, hey, Brian, you want to hit this fucking thing so that way you can see how useless your magnet sparks are? Yeah, you're like 1 fire damaging spell, and it does 45 damage to these garbage enemies. I don't know how you did it to yourself, buddy, but you sure have. Oh yeah, the map that I'm using is not completely shaped right for this, so... Hooray, bread. Go left here. It's a loud thump in the background. Everything's fine, I'm sure. Crack this open. And that is just a consumable. So all that effort was for nothing, but also we did need to choose that, to check that. Well, okay, so far I'm not, like, good at this. I wouldn't really say that I'm good at OOT Rando either, but... So far, they're both pretty fun. This is one that benefits because the relatively skeletal nature of the original game means that there's still plenty of stuff that can be moved around without, like, making it feel too bad to play. Whereas sometimes you'll just get, like, a really shit roll in OOT Rando. On the other hand, the OOT Rando cuts out a lot of, like, useless cutscenes and stuff that just makes it a smoother experience. And I think the OOT Rando is much more of a test of my puzzle-solving skills, whereas this is just, hey, can you play this game while your magic tree makes even less sense and you don't necessarily know what chests you have to open? Which is pretty interesting. I think the OOT Rando probably technically has more going on, but also because it's the sort of game where that will happen anyway. But both of them are pretty fun, and if I could have gotten that Pico cart working properly, then I'd gladly be streaming either of them on actual hardware instead of an emulator. And might even do it more frequently or something. You know what? I'm going to try backing away here and just see if I can force these guys into their healing stances. Because otherwise, yeah, these just kind of suck to fight. Oh, you're not gonna be bullied here, are you? Well, as always, nice of the game to throw one final absolute BS encounter at us on the way out. One of these days, I probably should set up my, like, actual, old Japanese computer and see if I can run that Imagineer Port of Lemmings on here just as, like, just as a bit, I guess. We'll put it that way, but, that is something for another day entirely. On 24 Fire, we have a movement boost. So, as I've kind of referred to a couple times at this point, we really just have no damage on fire whatsoever. Like, I guess we can kind of hit with that Walking Bolt spell, but even then, that's only, you know, arguably. And we were seeing that was dealing damage in the, like, 40s on those things. Yeah, see, our Magnet Rock does as much damage as that. Like, what's even the point of living? Yeah, we got Windwalk. Which, hey, give it credit, that's, like, a actually useful spell, but also... Just also, I think, is really the only thing I can say at this particular point. be a dewdrop. I was gonna say that can't hit us with all of them, can it? And it can come pretty damn close, but yeah, Windwalk is good. It's just that in this situation, it's like, I need progress makers. As well on this element. Otherwise, well, we're just gonna keep using the basic tornado rock that we have in Earth. Which, granted, is kind of funny, but... Behind here, or is it behind the stone circle? Or is it somewhere else? I think it's behind the house. No, it's not behind the stone circle. Not that I saw. I did not see a water orb come up in our search here. Oh no, we got it. When did we get it? Huh. That's... Well, whatever. We're out here. We may as well go fight the boss, too. Yeah, sorry. I don't have the spirits list open, so I'm just taking a second to try to locate... Because there is one that's hidden on this screen, I believe. It's just that... Yeah, I was going to say our ability to see is kind of butts. Besides, we want our boosted fire element, in theory, if we have anything that we can make progress with on it. Because I'm thinking that whoever is in Guilty's chair is going to be water element. Although, on the other hand, it might also be smart to go into building water, rather, now in anticipation for Fargo. But, yeah. When is our next fire spell, I guess, is the question. Like, 28 or something? Also, by the way, shout out to the fact that we can't hit that thing up there. 28. All right. Gotcha. So in order to hit this, we have to use a different spell from our tornado chucker, which... in this case, our choices for that are pretty bad. I feel like that roller doesn't hit at all. Oh, right, that's not... That's right, it was the level 1 water pillar that's the machine gun. Not the healing. Although the healing, throwing out like 6 pillars would be pretty funny, so... This is like the crappiest enemy we could possibly fight, because... we don't have great ways to make progress on this thing. It's just pick at it very slowly. Yes, my favorite. Does this do anything? I mean, that does something. It's not much. Oh, no, I mean, it's 100 damage, so yeah. Yeah, because now it's just going to have walking water. Yeah, we should do that on the ship, right? Hunting Slicer. So that's... Oh, right, that's our homing arrow too, right? So, I mean, that should do some sort of progress. Is there a spirit on the boat? No, but there's... Oh, yes, there is. Just a sec. Yeah, because all it can do in this case is just, like, cast Walking Water, which is a generic heal spell in this... Excuse me, in this case. Okay, yeah, I'm pulling up my learn set timings here, so I have this info at the ready. 30 will give us Firebomb. Or whatever it's going to be in this case. And then we start looking into the water stuff. I probably am going to go and beat up Guilty for his handful of experience. I just checked the thing that you sent me, and good to know, though, for the future, so... Yep. Alright, back to this. These are all, like, just trying to do the same crap at melee range, right? Oh, that's not a very wide... It's not a very wide large cutter. I see. Alright. Anything good? Blast roast. It sounds like it could be useful, but it also might end up just kind of being dog water. That broke, interestingly. Something looks really off about her. I think it's just because of the lighting, but yeah, something's looking a little fucky about you right now. Yeah, I think it was just the lighting, and it looks a little bit more normal now. Maybe my eyes are just... Oh, no! That has a range of absolutely the fuck not, doesn't it? Actually, let's see how absolutely the fuck not. Can we even hit with this? Yes, but doing so would be extremely foolish. Yeah, she fires those off before we can move. I didn't even realize it was that fast. Oh, hey, and guess what? I didn't remember to save at the house in Blue Cave. Well, we got everything that was important because we've already got the water gem. And, like, okay, it's just experience. It could be, yeah. You stop that. Oh. Blue wings, green wings. Let us, however, go and kick the crap out of Guilty. Because, yeah, I don't feel like going through a half hour of the Blue Cave, but 10 minutes of the Windward Forest? Sure. Oh, is that just generic magma ball? That's... Yeah, we're still in, like, goofy fun randomizer hell, because, truth be told, that's probably the best way to play this game, but, yeah. Well, that's pretty weird to this randomizer. Also, this thing's over here swaying like it's a nearly dead creature in Space Station Silicon Valley, and I find that funny. Plus, it was actually almost dead, so... You know, funny how that worked out, I guess. Ow! It's pretty painful. Oh, that feels even worse. Okay, so yeah, let's go for leveling up water. Now remember, we don't have anything to pick up here, we just have a boss to go beat up for no good reason. It's okay, self-loathing is a plenty good reason, actually. Oh, nice. We actually hit 2 things with that. That's pretty good by itself. Oh, hey, we haven't seen one of these for, like, ever. And by ever, I mean that's actually, I think, literally the case. Oh, it's doing... Well, I guess it's Wind Cutter level 3, huh? And from a distance, that model looks really off. Alright, can you actually, like... There we go. If Brian could just succeed once in a while, it would be real good. Alright, let's run around in a circle in a little bit to try and get our, There we go. Okay, so I think our strategy for this is going to be Hunting Slicer. I mean, it does 20 damage a hit, which is decent. Unless this does, like, more. Yeah, okay, 55 versus the approximately 30. It depends on how much RNG we feel like dealing with for our ability to hit. And the answer here clearly needs to be all of it because, well, we're stupid. That's why. We can also just get melee mode. And I can press the wrong button and be like, where's my things? Yeah, there is that I'm trading an extra MP for like 5 extra damage. That's right, Lears. I'm over here making this guy eat a hook. Wait. Oh, I'm happy if he's coughing. Wait. Yeah, come over here. Just don't get right into melee range. So I can set this up. Hooray! He's very easy to staff. Yay, yay. And we got ourselves a spell. We got ourselves an item that truly does not... Yeah, it's our boots. Ah, yeah, wheezing. Alright, well, wait. I didn't have a good follow-up to that, actually. Never mind. Oh god, could be Weezer. Oh god, oh boy. I already lived through the 90s once, god damn it! Oh Jesus. This is because I've been still thinking about, like, a more casual-oriented MC thing, isn't it, Lears? You're out here trying to punish me, aren't you? Alright, so the bridge hut has, like, nothing of value in there, right? I think we were probably just, like, desperate to find something that looked a little bit more interesting to do than whatever we were looking at the time. Leers, yeah, to lower people's defenses with. Wait. Ah, yeah, good old sideways large cutter. Oh, yeah, it's just that those two guys from that one meme advertisement, right? That sometimes you just need 2 men. I didn't realize the skeletons were fire type, so good to know if it ever comes up in a future run, I guess. Also, ghost hounds are wind, not fire. Okay. So, a thing that I think would be neat, I don't know how doable it is, though, to have, like, the enemies shuffled, except, like, you know, switch their stats around for wherever they are in the game. That sounds like it would probably be a lot of overhead, especially because I'm out here like, hey, yeah, let me tell you about a thing you should program into your stuff, and then I have no further follow-up. Alright, so I probably don't have to save here, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because, like, there's a save point near-ish to where I'm at, right? Right, yeah, elements and stuff like that too. Just because I feel like a large part of it is also just, hey, yeah, those skeletons are too fucking cool for where they are in the game. In an area where you can encounter them for like 2 square feet this early on, they probably should be chilling out somewhere like outside of, or perhaps in Barragoon Tunnel or something. Actually, I think they'd kind of fit in Barragoon Tunnel in particular too, because like that place has just this general vibe of like, well, lost civilization. Well, maybe not lost civilization, but you know, ruins kind of thing. There we go. That's a better description. You know, ruins, Mammon cult, supposedly Shelf's pretty old. Shelf more like, oh, I'm not gonna do that, sorry. But it's also hard to tell if she's being literal when she says, oh, I've been waiting for 1,000 years. She could be some, like, zombie chick, or she could also just be like, oh, actually, I'm just part of this cult, and we've been taking this long to actually get anywhere. Yeah, exactly. And we got some gremlins. They're out here to try to sell us Zool 30 years later. Yeah, and that would make sense with the other presences in the location, right? So, yeah. Also, thank you for making the joke that I thought was too easy. Wait. Either way, zombie fairy. Zombie fairy sounds like somebody's VTuber avatar, so. I feel like I'm being really mean about that because now it's just sounding like, oh yeah, here's somebody's, you know, OC concepts that people were calling cringe back in the day. Well, they weren't saying the word cringe so much because that's the application of the word cringe in that way is a bit newer than that, but you know. Unfortunately, I'm choosing the nicer word, consequently. Anywho, it's time for some boat stuff. We go in a circle because we gotta pick up the spirit on the way back to Dondron Flats. Oh, I thought that said brown evasion for a second. I was like, what? No, it's drown evasion, which is, well, it reminds me of a Metal Gear Solid meme, so I will accept it. Are we in the right location? Did I fuck up? I fucked up. It's... Hey, you. Yep, just stay at the wharf here. I did get the spirit on the boat, yes. I saw it and I got a move that taught us how to avoid drowning. Ooh, that's a hard-hitting move. That's a little unfortunate. Actually, like, everything over here is gonna hit pretty nasty, because yeah, that guy's got his triple wind cutter fireballs. The Fishman is the only thing that I'm really gonna be safe from. Hits healing 23 a turn. That's sub-ideal. Yeah, it's not a good place in general. All right. Hey, look, it's this exact party again. These guys, these will be water, right? That only makes sense. It also just Fishman like that, especially with a space in it. Somebody was credited under the name Fishman in one of the old Mega Man games. And I remember somebody pointing this out and just absolutely losing it from laughing really hard, because it just is a goofy looking nickname, and also, hey, it's Mega Man, right? There could be a Fishman in universe. Right, yeah, I figured the Scarecrow was wind. Scarecrow, or I believe in its Japanese name, it's called a bugbear, which is a choice because mentally I'm like, that doesn't exactly scan. It looks too much like a fucked up crow. But also, on the other hand, like, I guess if it's supposed to be a thing that signifies a fear, bugbear is actually like a word that is used for that purpose sometimes, to signify something that is irritating in some way. Oh yeah? I guess maybe I just don't offhand know what they look like, but also, to be fair, there's the other thing of like, hey, yeah, that's a monster you associate with, well, with another fantasy franchise, and maybe it would be better not to do that in this game. Just because this is one that people already look at and it's like, oh, it's an RPG called Quest. Okay. And that's the only time they should let ad agency people in the room for any game planning stuff, is to do that minor bit of punch up. Anyway, we got a bunch of these dudes. So at the very least, individually, they'll be healing slowly, but well, you see, clearly, to preserve any of the any of the punning, what they needed to do is also update the design to look less like a, you know, a bird and crow stuff and that, to look more like a bear. What you do is you just rip Banjo's textures and you stretch it over them. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's 16 for the next water spell. I'm pretty sure I should have that actual chart up. Oops. Oh no, it's 15. Pardon me. Close. Yeah, that's right, because that's basically free hits. Well, until then... Hey, look, that's actually being useful for once. Oh. Okay, now that's a hitbox. That was gonna hit that one, like, way off to the side. Okay, so it seems like the AoE is pretty good, but it's focused on top of us, almost. So... this is awkward to use, that's for sure. But it does seem to work. Okay, that move is called Crystal Force, and I want to say that in the last run, the word force indicated ultimate wind, so... yeah, that solves the mystery of that, because that just targeted immediately. It would fit because roast would indicate that hot steam is... I specifically remember like a flavor text in the manual or something for hot steam that said cook them like lobsters, so... they might be leaning on that a little bit for the rando. And just, you know, the idea of, well, steam cooking anything. Yeah, that's a useful move. And then you get blast from the fact that it's firebomb, as opposed to from anything else. Yeah, see, we're absolutely safe from this thing, pretty much. Unfortunately, we're not absolutely safe from dog shit RNG, but yeah. Okay, it was the manual. That's what I thought, because I was like, I don't remember seeing this in any magazines or anything. I mean, it was. I've seen people who have said that it was. I just did not personally encounter any of those. Yeah. Look at these jerks. Actually, these guys might be good for a little bit of that. Yep. I mean, they might be acceptable for a little bit of that. There we go. That's a better way to describe it. Not with that little man, I don't want to do that. Really, I just kind of want to get to Limelin here and save and heal. Or at least deal with smaller packs of enemies. Like this is fine. Actually, more than that, this might be a perfect setup to Magnet Roller. That's pretty good. Need him to not move too much. There we go. We'll worry about that when we get to the inn. Because I knew there was one over here, I just had to find it. I know Ice Knife is our next spell, which is the debuff, so... If the textures were the right color, sure. Wait. Okay, no, it level 19 we do get one. Oh, right. Now let's see if I can remember where this is in this building, and the answer is going to be no. I'm just going to pull up the spirit list. This location. Two flights of stairs, okay. Well, I guess this is up 2 flights of stairs, isn't it? (23) and 24 are the next 2 water spells, so no need to worry about that for a bit. Get the hidden room behind the throne. Although I don't know if there's more chests offhand to get here. I need like a list of chests or something for this too. Just to consult. I assume something like that exists. I just haven't found it yet. But I haven't gone looking too much either, so... Hey, ivory wings. That will take us straight to Shamwood, but we're not going to do that. We're gonna go through the entire tunnel. Although, I mean, we could go through the tunnel backwards. In fact, after we loot this entire city, I think that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I got the spirits. I got the chests out of the secret room. I forget where any of the other chests are. So I guess I can just go ransacking wherever or something. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so whoever we'd be fighting there... who would be like... either Zealous or Solvering, because... Yeah, I do actually remember this one detail from the guide, which is that Fargo is sitting in place of Mammon, sitting in place of Guilty. Yeah, he'd actually not suck. Currently rests somewhere vile. That's... This side? No, I think it's the other side. Well, the thing that would make Solvering less painful would be that he would be on less garbage. He would be on terrain that's a little bit more garbage for him, but less so for us, because he wouldn't have the best, like, direct path to us. So he'd be shooting his lava stream, which is, like, probably still kind of painful, but, well, he wouldn't be able to just constantly hit us with his stupid rock hammer. Okay, so that escape spell is a water pillar of some kind, I'd assume. Judging by the name, just having the word pillar there, that seems pretty clear. Not back here? Thought there was one over here. Everything on this stage might be up, like, inside of the actual pyramid. In fact, it probably is. I'm sorry, I don't have good memory. Yeah, there's probably that going on. I probably could have like a higher definition texture thing going on if I wanted to, but I never remember to do any of that stuff. Or look into how to do it either. Excuse me. That choking spell is either... It's got to be some sort of debuff, but I'm guessing possibly compression. Because I think that was a word that was used on one of the others. Or was that restriction? It's one of those, though. Well, no fire orb there, so... On we go. Oh, here we go. There's a spirit. We're at 27. Second, pulling that list up again. Okay, so... Oh, right, yeah, that's an attack up. We already know that. Alright, gotcha. Got the dewdrop. And he gave us the ivory wings back, I think. Yep. And thankfully one of the chests has the red wings, which I don't really need to worry about, but hey. Nice anyway. Okay, so this warps us out right back here. Hmm. Place. I swear there was something in this building. No? Well, back room, I guess, still is a thing. Yeah, there's a chest. Alright. That, I think, should be a useful spell here. Nothing too dangerous in this fight, actually. This one's pretty much free, because as long as they keep their distance with Magma Bomb, it won't hit me. And the fireballs just cast silence, I think. Which doesn't seem to be working either way. Sight higher? I'm at a bit of a loss as to what that is. But it sounds like it actually does some damage, so that's kind of nice. Now these guys could be a bit of a problem. In theory. Yeah, they're fire elements, so let's try it out. Whatever it was, it missed. Oh, it's extinction. Okay. That makes sense. Well, rip the EXP from that dude, so... But I guess that can help get us out of a jam once in a while. If we can actually land a hit with it. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to get the... Okay, there... Well, the spirit is up there by that Sandman, so that's easy enough to find. Thankful. Wait. It's down by where I am? I saw it and then it's in this area. That's the important part. That was me casting the wrong spell. Oh well. These things happen. Excuse me. And that looked like it was gonna hit too, which makes it even funnier in a way. This is a pretty not dangerous fight. The Sandman can actually do damage to us, but we just have to kill it before it really remembers that it can. Hooray! And I was gonna say it was literally right here. Nice, we got ourselves healing 2. So once again, I can say nuts to you, Wind. We are basically water main now, I think. Ouch! Yeah, that that hurts like the dickens. That's not great. It's getting close though, and I think we'll probably be okay. Oh no, he's got a melee attack. I forgot about that. So no, it's more like northeast. Okay, I just had to remember what the actual combination was, and it's like, wait a sec, that doesn't make sense. Oh, right, these guys are... I'm using the wrong element spell here. I'm sorry. I thought they were something else. Well, that's why we weren't making much progress, but we should be getting somewhere now. Regardless, it's not like they can hurt us. On the other hand, I think that casting spells does good things for our mana supply anyway, so It's fine. It was a strategy. It was not a strategy. Hey, you. Can you heal me? Shoes. Heal. So I guess the shoes cast Ultimate Wind, don't they? Or Ice Wall. Or is that just because they're taking the place of a buff spell? Oh hey, it's Zealous. So I guess Silvering is probably in the volcano. It's fun to approach him from behind. And also, hey, look, here he is being a wind element boss again. I think. Ooh, he is a painful individual. God, yeah, that's... Ouch! 45 on that. That's... Ooh, boy. You're gonna be a really terrible fight, aren't you? I got something to help me out here. Namely, I have healing items. But first of all, I can buff myself, and second of all, do I have... I was gonna say I still have some honey breads. Yeah, I got a bunch of them. Although, I mean, like, passing back and forth between use healing item, attack feels kind of crappy, especially when you don't have the guaranteed hit because this game is rude as fuck. Ah, the mouse cursors. Oh, they are not so good feeling. Can I just see your stats, dude? I just want to see your fucking stats. I was gonna say, getting the range right for that attack is a bit of a pain in the ass, but I think we managed to hash it out here. Ow! 84? Good lord, well I guess it's supposed to be one that's not as hard to dodge as everything else that he does. Alright, just die already, come on. Nope, not so much. Well, we lost a couple of breads. I wanted to see what he was doing in terms of stats, but it's probably not a thing that's really all that useful for us to know. I mean, truth be told, if we wanted to be, like, smart about this, we would just not save after we died in order to keep our items and just reset. But you all know me at this point. I only rarely do that, and almost like entirely in the context of Mega Man and Bass. Clears, the problem is you didn't pay at all, so I mean, you're gonna get what you're gonna get, and usually it's gonna be just as stupid as usual, so. At least there's that for you. I don't know where I'm going with this bit, but Okay, Bender, jeez. All right, so I'm hoping that this is a viable strategy-ish for at least a couple turns to, like, I'd say chip him, but we're kind of doing a little bit more damage than just chipping him at this point. Give me back my son! Wait, I can't do that. I can't do the Mel Gibson voice. And I think we're probably all happier for that, but, Alright, so, well, no, I want to get, like, as close to him as I can for this, so that way I can immediately go to trading blows, and that was terrifying because I thought I was going to actually walk into the hit zone for that. Yeah, see, I knew that was going to be a pretty quick kill. He's only got 1,000 HP, and just the attrition on the battle is so high that, yeah. So, this is a room to explore, all right. And you're gonna have like one of the hot steam analogs. This. Oh yeah, it's using the same one. Right. I remember that now. Don't know what kind of damage we deal with that, but not much, apparently. So wait a sec. That did nothing. Nice. That at least landed a hit somewhere, but it wasn't ideal. Can you, like, not do this to me? Wow, that's better range on that than I usually would have gotten. I think it probably was, like, hitting me with the exact pixel or something. I was gonna say, surely these things are water element mostly, right? Or water element, fire element. Listen, my brain doesn't work, so Yeah, last water spell is at 46. And there's one intervening at 40, I believe. So, yes. I did. I said the wrong thing the first time, because I was thinking about what I was using against them. Ward magic. Oh, I believe we have magic barrier also. Let's find out. I don't have a manager. Oh, that's a pretty good animation actually for that. Yeah, no, it's fucking Twitch, you know? It works the way it does, which is to say it absolutely does not. So I'm sure that even if I set up the like, hey, yeah, reduce lag settings, it would just be like, yeah, actually, we're gonna just make it worse. On purpose. You don't generate enough ad revenue for us. It's like, guys, who fucking cares? You're owned by Amazon. You have more money than God. You can stand to support somebody who's, you know... I'm not exactly about to become some sort of, like, upstart who overturns any industries. Right, I'm just saying I assume that it works like shit because it's Twitch. You know... Amazon doesn't want to put any of the goddamn money into it. They, you know. I have a fresh bread. That'll do at least to get me rolling here. Or maybe it won't. Fuck it, I need you guys to start dying faster. Or I can just die too, that's fine too. Well, that's acceptable. We've killed the boss. We can just keep going backwards and, you know. Mostly have an easier time now. Yep, as usual, just dropping in the Earthbound Master Belch entrance and, you know. We're doing the same old thing as a couple weeks ago, but this time we're going backwards through a dungeon. Because order is overturned. You know, nothing makes sense anymore. We've beaten Mega Man's playthrough so far. I'm going to start in on Base's playthrough next week, and that'll probably be the thing that I do on Monday and Wednesday. Because, yeah, the game is kind of really, really tough and not well designed, especially not for Mega Man. So if I'm lucky, that'll take one stream. I probably won't be lucky, so it'll probably take two. Or like 1.5. But yeah, once we do that, again, unless I receive a massive outpouring of donations, which was the The thing I was gonna do was what I was doing with the CDs. I wasn't going too hard as like a donation drive because like I don't need money right now. It just, you know, it's one of those like, okay, it would be nice. This is a thing that I can do as like the usual, hey, yeah, pay me to punish me by making me play a bad game more kind of thing. I.e. what most Twitch donation drives really appear to be. We're taking a bit of a gamble here by banking on actually hitting things. Which in this, well, accuracy is just kind of a vague concept in the back of one's mind. Truly, I need to be abusing magic barrier more, because I have that now. But hey, good luck me remembering that, right? These guys are fire, or they're water, pardon me. I keep doing that where I say the element that I'm trying to use on them instead of what element they actually are. It's because I'm not well spoken, but I digress. And yeah, I don't know what we'll play after Mega Man and Bass, but goodness knows I feel like I need to play a good video game after that. Unfortunately, I really don't know a lot of those anymore, so we could be on something that's still kind of a shitpost. We could be on something that at least is less painful. Oh god, no, not Superman 64. That's... I'd say I have limits, but that... suggesting that might be a bit of a stretch. The thing that's even worse, almost, is that... So, bizarrely enough, Superman 64's demo apparently is actually kind of legit. But then the released game is... well, the released game is what we know it to be nowadays. So, for some reason, like, Titus had actual good game stuff ready to go, and then for whatever reason of meddling or any of that shit, just at the very last... at the very last period of time, they were like, well, we gotta ditch all this and we gotta have this thing. I'll be honest with you, I don't know how it ended up in the state that it did. I'm sure I could look into that, but mostly I just would be spending too much time being like, what the fuck? Have I hit this thing even once? Well, now I have, but judging by the fact that it didn't die from that, and these guys have 160 HP, I'm gonna... yeah, so that'll put me at 4 for 5 misses to hits here. That's the Quest 64 RNG we know, and... game, do I need to get into, like, all the fights in, like, the same pixel of floor? Seriously? I don't know where the hell I am anymore, by the way. I'm just kind of lost. And of course, I'm fighting enemies around the corner in a maze. Here we go. Here's back out to the entrance of the, Did I stream X4? I have not streamed Mega Man X4. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll slowly turn into a Mega Man streamer. Just all Mega Man all the time except for randomizer days. But I have not streamed X4 yet. Which is kind of a shock because I generally have a pretty good opinion of Mega Man X4. But also streams are definitely more of like a test bed for games that will make the audience laugh at your misery because hey, I'm pretty sure that's the main thing that moves, you know, that gets viewers on Twitch is people hurting themselves with bad games mostly. All right, time for the long bridges section of things. Oh, right! Yes, because the Japanese original, well, for a start, the sound balance is probably better when it comes to, like, the cutscenes and shit. Second of all, there's more voice clips for, like, all the bosses that were cut out of the English version. Not even, like, re-recorded, and like, there's still a couple of voice clips for some of the bosses, but not all of them. Which is weird. I do have the X collection. I might be able to, like, set the region to Japan or something and get Japanese audio for it. I don't know if it has a different song in the original US version compared to the original Japanese version. I think the song is the same on the collection, but I know that this was... I bring it up because I know it was an issue with X6 and X5. Oh, thank goodness we had enough damage to actually kill that thing. I was taking a huge risk, but wow, the amount of damage that thing was putting out. I couldn't heal past that, so... That's right, just cast out on those things. Don't even try to physically attack them. My bullet spam actually does good damage now. Alright. Wow, this thing is still a lot. Yeah, because I got a terrible roll on that second ground hunter. And of course, just missed the thing that I'm trying to attack in the first place. That's where I came from. Oh, right. Okay. I think I understand where I was going. What a great time to get back attacked because, yeah, it screwed up my whole perception. Get the dumb bug out of here. I mean, yeah, that's true, but also... The voice acting in English X4 is, well... It's 90s voice acting. I've heard worse. I mean, it wouldn't be hard for me to run it on an emulator, so... Assuming I can find a patch out there, which, I mean... probably doable. Again, I have romhacking.net archive, so... Like, I'll say this, the voices in X4 are better than they are in X8. Lear's, don't see what you linked yet. I have to actually tab over to that. Is it the... It's the created YouTube terms of service to view this embed. Fuck off, FFZ.
So.
Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, did you link Mega Man 8? Because that would have been really funny. But also, Dan Salvato, suck my dick and balls. That's, why should I have to do that? It's fucking YouTube. Anyway, I'm done ranting. Unfortunately, I'm not done fighting this piece of shit. Get out of here. I don't remember a lot about X8's voice acting. I remember that it was not great. It was potentially better than X4. But, of course, a large part of X8 suffers from, you know, dog shit tier script even by Mega Man standards. And there definitely was some delivery involved there. Of course, also, again, a key point here is that X4 was 90s voice acting, which, yeah, there's not a whole lot of good voice acting from the 90s, not for Japanese things that were dubbed into English anyway. I don't know, personally, I don't think X8 is that good, but a lot of people seem to swear by it. For some reason. So maybe they're onto something that I'm not. yes, it is better than X7, but I mean, that's kind of like saying it's better than getting shot. You know? Yeah, it probably is better than that. I mean, again, I think Shadowbringers kinda is okay, at least mostly because of, well, again, I like Emmett and I think his character arc is, well, they've done worse in 14, I'll say that. And by the baby in it. Jesus. That's brutal. Yeah, and also I think second act slump is, or second half slump rather, I guess, is just kind of a general problem with 14 a lot of the time. Genuinely, I think that the writing team's biggest problem is they don't know how to write something that's the correct length of... Oh, geez, excuse me. I'm leaking a little bit here, sorry. The internal whoopee cushion engine that keeps this bullshit running is starting to run out slightly. Yeah, like... Heavensward, I don't 100% remember, but I just kind of go, oh yeah, Heavensward was the one with the dragons in it, wasn't it? Snore. I see a fantasy thing with dragons, and it's like, well, yeah, okay, I'll see you next week. So it looks like to find this fire orb, we're gonna have to go forward instead of backward. But that's okay, I want to pick up my elements. Anyway. So... yeah, I don't remember what the hell was going on in Heavensward, like, at all. I'm sure it was okay for at least a while. But... then you have Stormblood, where it's like, hey, yeah, here's two plot lines that are clearly, like, about 65% of enough of an X-Pack, at least, on their own. Okay, so it looks like our level 46 water spell is just a restricting spell or something. The story wasn't good. I mean, again, I'm just talking about story here. Content, we can talk about that later. And yes, you know, Stormblood, again, I think Stormblood had some threads to it that could have been interesting, and I will answer the other thing in a minute or two. But unfortunately, they were just buried in favor of not that. Again, I think that the Doma arc was the weaker of the two major story threads that they had going there. And it took up so much, and they botched so many subparts of it. Boy, oh boy, I think every once in a while about the bit where the localization has Hien basically say that he doesn't really give two shits about the fact that one of the guys is doing some human trafficking. One of the guys in Doma, rather. And just like, well, our nation is important, and yeah, things are not quite like that in the Japanese original. I mean, I think it's glossed over in the Japanese original, but he doesn't just say, oh yeah, whatever, in in that, which, yeah, considering Japan's history, but also just that I don't really feel like the story resonated that much, and I think the Alamigo story would have been better. What, did I accidentally call them Ralger's Reach or something? I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, so they done fucked it with that a little bit. That's... Well, see, at the very least, there's something to be said about that being interesting, although that is kind of... No, it's Blood Shower. Come on. We're not actually playing mobile games here. Wait. I mean, yeah, so I kind of get it. I don't know that Stormblood is slice of life. He's talking about Heavensward, that he thinks that Heavensward is kind of slice of life, which again, I don't remember. And I don't feel like going back because again, I kind of get a little bit like, oh hey, dragons, meh. I kind of get bored of dragons in general. Like, okay, we get it, you're... yeah, sorry. Stormblood, yeah, Stormblood is very much a politics thing. But again, a large part of it is just like, wow, you really fucked up on choosing what was the good story branch to go from here out of the two things that you had ready for this. And that's a thing that can just happen sometimes in general with a lot of their X-Packs. Like, Endwalker is definitely, like, this is a known thing with Endwalker, is that it was originally two expansion pack stories, where you had one that was going to be the End Days, and you had the other that was going to be Ilsabard, and in particular Garlemald, and, you know, freeing the Garleans from under the remnants of the Empire. And basically kind of going, hey, yeah, you know, sort of, again, exploring the idea of like, hey, fascist conscripts are humans who are mostly just afraid to get killed, kind of thing. Which, you know, some people responded to that with a very knee-jerk, like, oh, this is terrible kind of thing for what little of Garlemald there was. And I understand, but also, again, it has a point where it could make a point and also have like some meat as a story. Again, I'm the sort of person who likes stories that actually have a point to them, so... But in terms of this, you know, the overall story, just not good. Content, okay, sure. Shadowbringers, again, I feel a little bit more positively about Shadowbringers than Lear's does. But also, I do admit that there were definitely some places where it sagged. Like, I kind of sit here just in this place of like... Now, wait a second. What actually happened between Doan Meg and us going back to kick Vothri's ass? Should have just given Emma an entire expansion. That's probably a fair assessment, really. Anyway, we fly back to Shamwood and... Alright, yeah. Go ahead and get your sleep and everything. I think that's kind of fair. Again, though, it fits into a very large portion of the thing of like, hey, they're not so good at this idea of writing just enough for one X-Pack. And they'll have a story that massively undershoots it, or they'll have one that overshoots it. And they'll end up just binding a couple things together, and it will end up having a weight that is not really commensurate to something or other. Words hard. You get it. Yeah, Dawn Trail is just a fucking mistake. Again, I think that the first part of Dawn Trail is fine, and I like Book Lamont as a character. Although I think that it's a little bit underexplored, the fact that her fatal flaw is that she sees the positive in everybody, even when they blatantly have none. Book Lamont is a fairly normal, like, shonen-ish character. I've seen people describe her as being reminiscent of Luffy, and also seeing people describe her as reminiscent of Naruto, but I think that it's probably not unfair to say that the people who are saying Naruto are being a little bit meaner, because, you know, no offense to Naruto fans, but Naruto does not, you know, Naruto kind of got, like, tarred with being the archetypal generic shonen for a while. Probably because it was definitely a little bit overpushed, regardless of quality. But, you know, something we've never been able to handle balancing that either. But, you know, again, I don't think it's bad, because also, at the very least, I feel like most of the characters in 14 generally kind of have, like, some peccadillos to them. Like, the fact that Thancred is Bender and Urianger lies a lot, especially for a healer. But also, the main story of the thing is something that basically it should have ended. The climactic point was basically right around the end of the level 95 dungeon. So they should probably have paced things out a little better so you could actually, like, have that story and the other one kind of intertwined, but they truth be told, they were not. So a big problem is that halfway through the X-Pack, it feels like it's over, and then they just start something else new. So that doesn't feel right at all. And also, I feel they were trying a little bit too hard to try to make the villains sympathetic, which is something that I've said before. And I understand sort of why, because they've had very good success with being able to make kind of sympathetic villains, because they had Emmett, and yeah, Emmett's terrible, but you can look at his motives and you can go, okay, I'm not going to say I agree with you, but I suppose I can semi-understand why you might come to this conclusion. You know, you have mental health problems. You're fucked in the head. And speaking of getting fucked, we almost died there. But wow, cool game, great RNG. I didn't get the wings, and did I save at the? Okay, I did save at the hut. And see that, you know, that and Hermes also. Hermes, again, Hermes is like massively dealing with serious mental health shit. So, you know, he's a very much a sympathetic guy, but obviously he's a villain. He's trying to end reality and, like, you know, really, there's no way you're going to be able to spin that into heroism, no matter how hard you try, no matter how, like, depressively fucked you are. You know, I may not particularly be, like, concerned about if the world were to end, but also I'm not, you know, it doesn't make me a good person. But regardless, good lord, those guys take forever to fade out. It's actually kind of funny. So I think they were trying to bank on that with Sphene and the Alexandrians, and it does not work. Just flat out, it doesn't work. They do nothing to make themselves they do nothing to make themselves really seem all that sympathetic. And again, they are basically just like a metaphor for colonizers, pretty much. Oh yeah, probably. I also think it's very strange to have, like, the afterworld be, well, again, putting a slight asterisk on it, it's very strange, first of all, that it's basically Az's Law Part 2 in terms of design in a lot of ways. And the second, I think it's a strange choice to be like, okay, yeah, check out this amusement park is basically what that entire map was. It felt very much like a sort of tourist destination kind of thing. Like massive weirdo Disney World vibes. And I mean, there's places where you can be like, hey, yeah, we have this messed up world that's an amusement park. And I hate to say it, Star Rail actually did that really well. I say I hate to say it because it's so much of a medium is the message thing with regard to capitalism, being that that's a fucking gacha game. So, and also a gacha game made by a Chinese company where, you know, not for nothing, but their economy, yeah, unfortunately they are going to actually make money look like a good thing, even though they claim they're communists, but I digress. Well, other people claim they're communists for them mostly, but anyway, my cultural ignorance aside, the point here is that it's like, it doesn't do anything, but it's set up to make you think that it is. So, is this house enter? It is, actually. But yeah, I can only assume that the next several patches, and by several I mean at least 1 to 2 of the post 7.0 story, are going to be more attempts to trick people into thinking that these characters are, like, actually, that they actually have any substance to them. And they kind of fumbled the bag on that already, so yeah, I'm not here for that kind of thing. Very unimpressed with the story of Dawn Trail. I do think it's kind of cute, though, that the Raid series is, like, basically really over-the-top magical pro wrestling. Because, I don't know, I find that stuff kind of fun. Or at least entertaining. Oh, any challenge I take has to be dumb. What's the deal? And that blood shower animation is pretty funny looking. It's like we're attacking the enemies with the power of disco a little bit. Or it would be if we get an actual proper object in the middle of that to be doing the reflection. Getting 50 in every element in this game. So in vanilla, that sounds like it would take quite a while, to put it succinctly. Anyway, it's dark, so now I gotta use the map. Excuse me. Well, okay, in randomizer, that's significantly easier because I can just dial up the EXP inputs and we'll be better off. So, yeah, basically just, yeah, they fucked up really badly with Dawn Trail, especially in the back half of it. And they really kind of screwed up a lot of very specific elements that, you know, they hit me in a very personal way that I probably won't dig too much into details on, just because I'm not certain that anybody else is necessarily going to be all that concerned about it. But yeah, never made a randomizer setting. The randomizer I've been using, it's a program that you download for it. So you download the program and you just look in the thing, and that should hopefully be self-explanatory. Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, I thought that the actual battle, I thought that the actual trial was quite good. There were a lot of really good mechanics to it and some pretty interesting stuff. I also like... Oh, this guy's a jerk. I don't like him. But I do like the fact that they've thrown out a lot of, like, extra just general purpose dots in a lot of the recent trials. Like, you had that thing, you had No Name Quetzalcoatl, which is called something else, but it's just a feathered serpent. It's just a fucking Quetzalcoatl. It's not the Quetzalcoatl that we know from FF8, but it's the one that we would know from Central American and Upper South American mythologies. I forget exactly which one Quetzalcoatl is from, and I'm too much of a white person to retain that information. I apologize. Am I allowed to say it like that on Twitch? Ah, fuck it. Well, I'm not weighing in too much on the story because the story is very... The story is just extremely, like, it's fine. It was an RPG. It would suffice. It was the kind of thing that I would have expected. They are, I think, at the very least trying to, like, hit a lot of those sort of Mesoamerican languages a little bit. Probably. Which means that a lot of it is probably just, like, offensive, like, gibberish that sounds ever so slightly like the actual words. As opposed to actually being, like, you know, the real words. As is frequently what happens when projects from, like, outside of any, you know, basically when a project from that is themed around a location that doesn't use English as the primary language and is not from there, the kind of quality you get for something like that, right? Where it's like somebody taking outdated ass, you know, Hepburn transliteration of Japanese and is writing and spells it slightly differently. Blah, 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 blah. That kind of thing. But yeah, I think that an in-game pronunciation key for a lot of stuff. We do live in an era now where that should be like a standard thing. Like, every once in a while, I also kind of think about, like, Alan choking to death on Malakea soup in Earthbound. Like, the spelling pronunciation of it. Oh god, you're right, it doesn't. That's a pretty big L on 14's part. But I have heard a lot of people who have significantly worse vision issues than I do, saying that they've had difficulty with certain areas like Mount Golg and the third Endwalker trial, more at release than afterwards. I think that some of the colors were tweaked, but I do remember going into Phoenix and being like, I can't see the floor super well. And some areas in Phoenix and Mount Golg still kind of make my eyes hurt a little bit. They are notably very bad when it comes to a lot of that color stuff. I think this is still a problem with a lot of game dev just in general. Like, not everything can be TF2, right? In fact, with how good Valve is at developing games anymore, nothing can be TF2 anymore. Boom! Anyway. My meanness at Valve aside, until it comes up again. I think that with a lot of that stuff would be like... it wouldn't quite be as literal as that, Lears, but I dig what you're saying about the idea of, yeah, it's pretty bad. Also, yeah, our magma ball just appears to be just plain old magma ball. I'm okay with that. Because color blindness is very weird. So, I do understand the idea of, like, you have to hire specialists and stuff for that, or... yeah, specialists would be the word. To do design for that properly. For Magma Ball is listed as Magma Triad, yeah. It's literally just Magma Ball. But my point is that, yeah, I know you gotta hire specialists for shit like that, for colorblind design, but also you're Square Enix. Are you not the RPG company still? like, for some people, Square Enix is like the video games company too, and yeah, there is that too, that they want to be more inclusive, which, you know, on you guys, but have you considered actually, like, doing it? But again, they've fucked this up so many times already that it's like, well, I'm gonna be a doomer about it until a while. That's all. I could believe that. I mean, I feel like I don't know how you would even pull that off, because, like, that seems like something you would not readily be able to adapt to such a platform. But I'm not a game dev on the technical level either, so... Excuse me. The fuck do I know, really? But yeah, I mean, 14 was like, they were all about that big graphical update, but also, I mean, that didn't really necessarily fix a whole lot of underlying issues as far as I know. Yeah, which, the graphical update has been a mess, and a big thing that has really kind of teed me off about it, as somebody who mostly just likes making glamour sets and occasionally running roulettes, is this reputed update of 2-channel dies has been disgustingly underwhelming. It's pretty terrible. But also, yes, the real graphical shit is kind of crusty. Oh, that's bizarre. That's a choice that someone made. I haven't, like, paid super attention to a lot of the graphics updates, but really it's like, hey, it kind of just looks like there's a shader on there now. And not for nothing, I don't like the way most shader packs look. Like, they look blown out, I think is the way that I can describe it best. Or like, oh, somebody threw a color burn layer on top of something. Whoop-de shit. You know, you can't see the jacking off motions, but you can hear the jacking off motions. From me, anyway. But, hold on, I'm trying to remember where I actually was. I was too busy being an asshole. Like, I do like the purple water in Leviathan, because I just like the color, but that's it. Like, the rest of it is, I could take it or leave it. You guys really needed all of these extra months for this, and you've still come up with a quarter-baked story and a lot of terrible ideas, and quite frankly, I would not be surprised if you guys were still being really fucking racist, despite the fact that you really want us to think otherwise. Also, I don't actually know if it's any harder on anyone's computer or anything, but also it does mean that, hey, you're excluding the people who can't upgrade their PC from the game because you wanted to force everybody to use your G-Shade settings. I am not surprised, but I was not completely certain, so that's why I didn't say anything on that, other than you probably did. Knowing that they actually did, though, I think that's a questionable move, to put it nicely. Like, again, I'm on a 1080 Ti, and I got 64 gigs of RAM, and I'm on a 3700X, I think is the AMD processor's number. I'm on a generic good machine, I would say. I'm so dead for that. Oh, game. Yeah, I called it, but also I'm still upset. You know, I'm on a generically a good machine, but that's still not necessarily like a super cheap thing. And again, if you don't need it, and it's doing like nothing special for you, then what the smeg is even the point? You're just excluding people from playing your game who don't have money to, you know, no pearls to throw before the swine. And swine is really feeling like the word here, but... But, you know, if a game doesn't really need to be high-intensity graphics, again, I'm somebody who's satisfied with PS2 graphics, so... I may be the wrong person to say anything here, but... You know, again, excluding... You know, going harder on excluding the poors, not that... I probably should be wary of saying that even in a parody, but, you know, cutting people out of hobbies because they have less money, and yes, 14 did have a subscription fee, and it feels like quite a subscription fee as somebody who remembered way back when PSO1 was like $8 a month and thought that was fucking insane, but... But also... Can I actually hit this guy? But I mean, again, a subscription fee, I kind of get it. You gotta keep the lights on somehow, in theory. But also, like, that's the next level up, in my opinion, is doing that, because that's legitimately shutting people out. Ashen Magic. I don't know what that is. I'm going to assume that, I was gonna say, is that like Magic Terrain or something? It's gonna have the extinction particle effect, so maybe we'll be able to see those. Answer, probably not, but... Okay, that's Magic Terrain. Like, for sure. But also, wow, I don't think I've ever seen what extinction looks like. And it looks kind of shitty, actually. Underwhelmed a little bit here, but, yeah, part of the reason why I quit Magic was because I felt like the company was getting too fucking greedy with their stuff, and, you know, they were locking a lot of the major reprints behind a lot of more expensive products, and they were locking quite a few of the special card treatments behind more expensive products, and Secret Lair, fucking, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back on that one very specifically. I've said it before that I'm in the wrong menu. That the Secret Lair Special Edition is the thing that kind of broke it for me, because they wanted like $135 for 5 cards. And these were all like like real chase cards that like were important. I would say important to the health of the game. To really drive home the fact that this was like an absolute bitch move on their part. And that is a big part of why I don't support them. Also, just the general way they handled certain other things. But yeah. Right, especially if you're in like sanctioned events. I mean, proxies are always a little bit of a touchy subject with a lot of people. I've had people like change their opinions on it basically inside of the length of a game, which is scum shit, but I digress. I'm not here necessarily to call out the player base for being bad people. We'll save that for some other time. But again, that was, I felt like that they were trying to exclude people from the player base. And I was really not a fan of that. That again, they keep printing like, 10 million of these fucking secret layers a month, and it's like, okay, I kind of guess that the Miku cards are cute, but also, I mean, there's the other side of the argument with that one where it's like, hey, I came here to play Magic, not Weiss Schwarz or whatever. I think it's Weiss Schwarz is the Bushiroad thing that's like all the crossovers and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't express it in those words for obvious reasons, Lears, like, But, it is absolute, like, just total jag-off behavior, especially for a casual, a casual thing. Hey, yeah, a tournament, they have their own things, basically, that, like, well, this is the company, I don't agree with that either, but also that's a different kind of jerk-off behavior, really. That's corporate jerk-off behavior versus personal jerk-off behavior. And if somebody who's not beholden to any of the company's laws or whatever is like, oh no, you have to have the actual piece of $200 cardboard that says these words on it, well, yeah, you can go kick rocks, dude. And especially, like, God help you if you're looking at, if you're playing stuff like Vintage and things like that. The main format that I played in Magic back before I quit is called Commander. Commander is an interesting format as, like, a deck building puzzle thing, too. Because you have a 99 card deck plus one legendary creature that determines what colors you're allowed to play. And in the main 99, outside of basic lands and cards that stipulate otherwise, you are allowed to have no more than one copy of any card in the deck. Well, yeah, but that's why you have things that can check it, because you can look cards up on Oracle or whatever their database is called nowadays, and you can get around the cheating that way. But if it were, I was gonna say, if it was something like Yu-Gi-Oh, fat fucking chance, because who knows if Wikipedia is being DDoSed at any particular point. But yeah, as regards playing MTG online, you can play some of Magic Online through MTG Arena, which MTG Arena does not contain all the cards, but you technically can play it without paying real money. Paying real money just lets you buy more booster packs and shit, but you can grind up packs and stuff to trade for singular cards through the usual methods of just like playing the game more. So technically, yeah, you can play like most of Magic through Arena, and by most I mean basically just as much as came out after Arena and like a couple of sets besides. Oh hey, those things can actually silence me. Neat. All right, that's fine. I'll try to remember my points for when you get back from taking a dump. Although, yeah, again, I kind of understand the fake cards thing, but I think most people are at least capable of like looking that stuff up, thankfully, nowadays, due to the sheer proliferation of the internet. That is no longer an issue. Although saying that, I would love to see more like, you know, custom card league kind of stuff. There was a brief trend going around on MTG Twitter for a bit of the Sharpie cube, where people were actually like taking Sharpies to their cards and like erasing text from it in order to change what the card does. And that I thought was pretty cool as like a concept. I would love to see more of that kind of stuff in just any card game at the casual level. Unfortunately, boy oh boy, casual circles in general for like most nerd hobbies are so hit and miss. Like, I swear to fuck, the last group that I played with were such a bunch of lawyers about that stuff, really. What do I have that's, what does this do for us? Nothing, but it makes a massive visual, so that's cool, I guess. Oh, hey, would you believe that I've forgotten entirely about, Magic Barrier because I'm a fool? Because I have. I should probably be using it more. And of course, also, yes, with regards to custom card kind of shit, there's also the balance matter required. And God, if you ever look at people's custom cards for stuff, I say this as somebody who does a lot of like of that stuff, and I have to keep consulting with current sets and stuff to be like, okay, what's the power level look like right now? Like, are we at lightning bolts in standard? Are we allowing shock in standard? Do we have lightning strike? Is lightning strike too good or too bad? And things like that. And that's just an example of burn spells, because it's a simple thing to grok. But yeah, most fan card designers are not good at balance. And I try pretty hard, but also I never get anything done, so I digress. Maybe it's less of a good idea, but I suppose with good enough organization anything can work. In theory. Unfortunately, it will have to remain a theory for the rest of our lives. And back to it. Anyway, we know that Guilty is a fire guy, a water guy. And by guilty, I mean the guy, Fargo, right. Because goodness knows he's not silvering again. Although this guy is going to be, so that's a great place for him. I suppose it could be worse. We could be dealing with him with no weaknesses. I mean, I probably should be just leveling up water for the rest of the game, really, because we know that Vegas is fire. He's always fire. And we know that this guy who's coming up is water. Oh, we're gonna die again. Yep. Fuck you, game! That was not necessary at all! The worst part of it is, it was pure luck! It's not even like the game planned for that shit! I can't blame anybody except for bad luck! Oh boy. Well, time to fight like 50 more fights before we can actually go kill the boss. Unless some more terrible bullshit happens, I'm probably gonna just fight the boss, save, and that'll be it for tonight's stream. But that's still gonna take us a minute, because, again, I'm not expecting that an elementally weak Silver Ring will necessarily be super hard. Especially because we have a lot of elements in his actual weakness. So I'm feeling confident. I probably shouldn't be. Hey, Lears, we died because of bad RNG. Yeah, okay, so now I can, you know, indulge my autism about magic again for a second. So again, to reiterate, MTG Arena came out Jeez, it came out like maybe 7 years ago or something. So everything from that point forward has been released on it, plus a random selection of older stuff. Most of the older stuff in this case being things that were released within like the past 12 years or so of Magic's history. So for a lot of the old cards, if you want to play online with that stuff, you're up shit creek and you have to go to the realm of Magic Online, which I don't 100% know how well updated Magic Online actually is, and I don't know what sort of level of paying in you have to do for Magic Online, because it has been a minute to say the least, and I've never played Magic Online for that matter. If I've ever played MTG Online, it's been through unofficial means, or through the brief period that I was playing on Arena. So I'm pretty sure that MTG Online is kind of like just the raw experience when it comes to getting stuff that you basically just either trade or well, it has like some sort of ticket system for trading in particular. So you're not necessarily beholden to like as much of a shitty player economy, although on some level I'm pretty sure that that's probably based on popularity of the cards and that. And packs, which, yeah, okay, Magic Arena has packs too. Again, I think it's a thing where you have to pay in, but can still get a decent chunk of stuff through just existing, really. But yeah, not 100% sure of that, except that there is a payment scheme involved. But Magic Online does include most of the game. There's a few cards here and there that are still missing, and that's not counting shit like cards that rely on literal gambling or cards that rely on feats of physical dexterity. Two things that were also printed back in the first 2 years of Magic's life cycle and were retired both to avoid legal issues and because of, well, physical dexterity acts just kind of being a sucky way to do things. In fact, I think that one of them is kind of the subject of the first real meme in Magic. Well, okay, asterisk, second real meme in Magic, because the first one was was Tim, Prodigal Sorcerer. The second one would have been the Chaos Orb Urban Legend, where there was this card in the original base sets called Chaos Orb that had rules text that said that you sacrifice it and then you drop the card physically onto the opponent's play area from a height of at least 1 meter, and anything that the card lands on is destroyed. Any of their, like, stuff in play. So, no, if it lands on their deck, it doesn't, you know, blow their entire deck to smithereens. The story goes, this urban legend claims that a player, an enterprising player, at a very early tournament, when using their Chaos Orb, tore their card to pieces and sprinkled the pieces over the opponent's play area. And this was the subject of a card in one of the joke sets that said that you literally do that. So, some versions of the story end in the player being disqualified because their deck list was incorrect. I'm not 100% sure of how true any of this is, but it's funny as fuck to me, so I choose to believe that it absolutely happened. Both parts of it. Unsurprisingly, cards like that are not in Magic Online, and God knows they're not in MTG Arena because they're not reprinting shit that old unless it's been reprinted since, basically. So, yeah, you can, asterisk, play Magic the Gathering online without paying double asterisk. And as regards Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah, Master Duel has something very similar going on to Magic Arena, other than the fact that it has everything that's been printed in the Japanese card game, just in different packs, as far as I know. I think it's all different packs. It could just be mostly different packs. And yeah, you can still pay to Master Duel to buy packs. And they have a wild card system of sorts where you can basically trade your stuff in for cards of the same rarity. And you accumulate points for doing that by playing more duels. But on the other hand, I do think it's probably set up more fairly than MTG Online, than MTG Arena, at least to start. Because, yes, back when I retired, I was playing Gravekeepers at the time, and I was thinking, I want to play something different. Or maybe I was playing Cleaforts at the time, but those are the two decks that I had played on it were Gravekeepers and Cleaforts, and Gravekeepers is just like the perennial deck, but I wanted something a little different, and Cleaforts are dog shit now. That deck's almost unplayable, but it used to be a top tier threat, so I was like, hey, and I'm a machine fucker. I enjoy what these bring to the table from a style perspective. So if you've already built a deck and you decide you want to change because you want to play the newest waifu deck, asterisk, said in a tone of boredom, not of derision, because yeah, it's more like, hey, yeah, this game could probably stand a little bit more variety in terms of its stylings and everything, but regardless, you know, if you want to play the new shit, you basically have to trade out all of your old deck, and you still may not even have enough to be able to do it. And it's easy early on, but it gets very tight later, and I'm not a huge fan of that. But I mean, trading card games are kind of like the original loot boxes anyway, so well, I guess that, you know, there's probably even more before that, but also keep in mind that my experience with loot boxes also goes back to, again, Team Fortress 2, making a second appearance in this stream's monologue, where, yes, you did actually have functionally different weapons hanging out in the loot boxes. You could get them through the drop system, but it wasn't as common as getting a crate or anything like that, so it was basically your best bet of being able to get, like, the degreaser or whatever at the time was buy it from the shop or hope you pull it out of one of the loot boxes. So, I mean, you probably could be like, oh, hey, yeah, non-game trading cards were like an earlier version of that, and there's probably even earlier versions still. But you understand where I'm coming from. That the sense of, like, there's an advantage to it, which is the even slimier version of just, oh, hey, you've got a cool hat. Because it's not like the corporations go around bullying school kids for having a default Fortnite skin, which I'm pretty sure is a thing that I've actually heard about happening, because, hey, children are true innovators in being little assholes sometimes. Not always. Sometimes children are delightful, but there's also times where, especially like preteens and teenagers, can be real jerks. And it's a tragedy overall, because I do love a lot of these, like, card games. I think that most of them are quite fun to play. I like the collecting the little cardboard rectangles. You know, I have some of them in hard plastics mounted to the inside of my book cabinet in the back of the room that I use as like a display case for stuff. They're like tiny art prints, kind of. in a really nerdy as fuck way. Although, I mean, really, anything here that's not nerdy AF, what would be the point, right? It'd be really weird to be discussing that. So, yeah. Again, I do absolutely agree, by the way, that I prefer these games as like deck building puzzles kind of things, of like show off your skill with doing something that other people don't do, or accomplishing a strategy that other people can't accomplish very easily, or counter this meta deck or stuff like that. I would be interested in like a style rating system almost for that kind of thing, of like, hey, yeah, here's, wow, you did something real neat there. You get extra points. Unfortunately, I don't think that's much of a thing at this point because, well, that's a relatively select subset of the player base in general, and yeah. Yeah, exactly, and I mean, yeah, it is part of why I was like a little bit stung on this group to begin with. I mean, there's a lot of other reasons too that I would, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's basically what happens whenever anything to do with the economy happens, but I digress. But yeah, like, the other thing is that with regard to that, I will use this point to share a story about another schmuck in the group I used to play Commander with. That this guy thought that he was going to be a pro Magic player, which, first of all, fat fucking chance, dude. I don't necessarily know that you're that good, especially because, hey, hard to tell when you're playing a casual format that differs very heavily from how tournament Magic is in the first place. Second of all, what formats are you playing in? Because a lot of that stuff shuffles up regularly. I think that a lot of the high-level tournaments actually play, like, Modern and Standard, and Standard is the one that rotates every 2 years. Modern, or rather, pardon me, Standard rotates and is the past 2 years of card sets. That's the big asterisk there. Modern just keeps getting bigger with every new release, and they release things frequently that are actually playable in Modern. Whereas, if you're looking at something like Vintage or Legacy, which are two different things, but are otherwise literally, you know, from the beginning of the game up to now, just with different ban lists, you tend not to get a lot of things that crop up in any of the newer sets that filter down to Legacy and Vintage. Because in those formats, you already can just dump some of the most busted garbage on people to begin with. So, yeah, probably not surprising that that doesn't happen. It's a little bit hard to look over at the newest dog shit tier 3-mana counterspell that has a weird set-based condition to make it 1 mana cheaper when you can just play Force of Will, which costs 0 mana and only costs you 1 life and throwing out a blue card from your hand. Or if they're playing 1 mana spells, God help you, you can just play fucking Mental Misstep, which costs 2 life and no cards from your hand. And is blue, so if they're not playing a 1 cost, you can just pitch it for Force of Will. Anyway, Magic sucks. That's the takeaway here. And so are the people who play it. So, this guy who... I have a lot of other problems with him because he also was a dude who showed up to the place where we played at. He had a playmat that featured art from one of the then more recurring artists for the game, Steve Argyle, which it was not explicit, but it depicted two canon characters, two female canon characters, I should note, making out. And this was art that he drew. Art that he drew not for Wizards of the Coast, but as a fan art piece while he was still doing a lot of contract work for Wizards of the Coast, which I think is a little bit of a bizarre business choice on one's part, but I digress. This particular bootleg playmat also had an Ultra Pro logo on it, which Wizards of the Coast does a lot of contract shit with Ultra Pro, so there's a lot of WotC branded card game accessories branded that are made by Ultra Pro and stuff that has like actual art from a lot of the cards on it. I actually used to pick up some of that stuff with reasonable frequency because I like the way a lot of it looks. And clearly I'm a hell of a lot more of a peacock than I ever acted like. But anyway, I actually still have my Elish Norn playmat that was manufactured by Ultra Pro. So yeah, this is like a big time, like serious, not legal thing for this person to have manufactured. And he was quite proud of owning this and was like, yeah, I think it's real cool that I got the one with the logo on it, so it's extra, you know, so it's like extra illegal. Yeah, all right, cool for you, dude. It wasn't really in the same ballpark of like dudes who specifically buy bootleg products, which, you know, I think a lot of bootlegs are very interesting. I unabashedly own a surprising amount of bootleg fan merchandise. That bootleg figure that I ordered actually came in today. It looks all right. The outfit feels really gross because it's made of like glitter-filled plastic, but I digress. Or probably rather glitter-coated, but regardless. Anywho. Yeah, so this guy also had a Deus Vult tattoo on his bicep, which is a Nazi thing. So, yeah, the guy was kind of a shitbag, and I hope that he fails for other reasons, but also, like, this dude thought that he was going to be a pro Magic player, and, I don't know how to break it to you, but unless you're John Finkel, that isn't actually a real career path. In fact, I don't even think John Finkel is, like, a big-time Magic dude anymore. I think John Finkel does, like, regular people gambling. Or barring that, he's doing something else as opposed to Magic. Like, I think the pro Magic players are different people anymore. Luis Scott Vargas is another guy who I know who is a pro Magic player. He might still actually be a pro Magic player. But, yeah, no. Pro Magic player is not a job. It's like if you say to somebody that you're gonna be, like, a big rock star, like you want to be like Led Zeppelin big. Yeah, that is literally never gonna happen. You know, don't kid yourself. Give up on your dreams. I hate to say it, but give up on your dreams. And, you know, I understand if you want to do something for the love of it, but if you want it for the fame and the bucks, you're going to be sorely disappointed when you get there, if you even do, is the important part. And of course, all of this is before factoring in the ungodly expenses involved with being a pro Magic player. Especially, again, if your format of choice is any of the, like, Eternal formats, or what they're called. If you're doing any of that stuff, yeah, you're gonna be paying out the ear. And then I would assume you have to worry about travel expenses, and that is not always cheap, to put it nicely. So I have no idea what that Rock Shower spell is, but it looks like it's a buff because I think they get themselves hit by Soul Searcher when they do it. which means that it's probably a self-target. Regardless, let us continue forwards and see if we can't finish this off. Again, I know that guy is pretty close, so yeah. And yeah, as far as corporate brainwashing stuff goes, I mean, they are well practiced in it, so it's not necessarily that surprising that it's a thing that people fall for because, hey, they've got that shit down to a science due to decades of work on this and an understanding of psychology and how to abuse people and stuff like that. So unfortunately, I don't think I can quite engage in the like, you guys are, it's amazing how fucking stupid you are. No, it's more like the people who are doing it are fucking evil. And that's the thing that's amazing, is how evil those people are. At least to me. This obviously is going to be a thing that varies from person to person, but as far as I'm concerned, it's more fucked up that people are that scummy that they think that this is a thing that they should be spending their time on. Instead of doing something that's, well, anything else, really. So, I'm gonna do something here, and I'm going to slightly break protocol, I guess, a little bit, and I'm going to crack the spoiler, because we're quite deep into this. I just want to see where certain spells are, because we're probably going to feed, like, all of our shit to fire or something. Unless Avalanche is looking, like, really easy. Well, I mean, it is on Wind. That would actually, like, buff up some of our stuff here, and that would be useful. Possibly. You know what? Sure, let's go for it. I'm sure that this Avalanche is not going to be of particularly high value to us, but why not? Avalanche is usually a pretty fun way to deal with things, and it's very rare that it's not a choice against Mammon. What do we get? Oh yeah, we got the, I think it's Homing Arrow 2. I didn't actually look at any of the rest of it. I don't remember now. So, otherwise, I mean, I've got, like, nothing at this point in terms of anything to say other than, oh, hey, it's taken us a while to get to this boss because this is a long cave full of nothing special going on, really. But once we're done with this place, we will go save, and the stream will end, and yeah. Oh, boy, yeah. Well, we'll deal with base next week. Oh, you meant Boss Bass, sorry. No, you meant Boss Bass, not somebody mispronouncing base. I gotcha. I remember SMB3. Hey, there's the L-Tail book. Or Ella-Tail's book. So that's a thing that we need to complete the game. Hooray. An interesting thing, actually, about that I will say is that I feel like this series has been weirdly inconsistent about L-Tail, Ella-Tail for a lot of that. I know I act like I'm over here being, you know, Captain Quest 64 lore, which is something that people would be like, this is a thing that exists. Okay, yeah, Rock Shower is definitely a self-target. So I found it interesting because I looked up recently that I believe it's the GBC D-Master, if you will, of this game, as opposed to the weird puzzle game spin-off. But one of them, the Japanese title, part of it translates to Elemental Tail, which I guess is probably what, like, Elatail is supposed to be short for, but, just, that's all. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here thinking that I'm very curious if anything of Phantasy Star Universe Episode 3 exists out there on the internet. I feel like I should probably, like, go ask people places, but I always get nervous around any sort of social situation because, hey, I'm afraid that people will just be hostile for no good reason, among other things. The last time I went and searched, all I got from the phrase Phantasy Star Universe Episode 3 was people who were doing, like, just general streams on the free server that finally exists, and the third episode of their playthrough. Well, see, that seems like I'll never get a response in the first place, but, you know. But I digressed. Am I going the right way? I'm probably not going the right way. Yeah, I'm about to be very pissed off if I'm not going the right way. I digressed. Yeah, there you go. That's the kind of words I use, is digressed. First I dig, then I rest. Wait. Actually, usually I try to set up situations that way I don't have to dig any. Am I... Wait a sec, I see a fucking... Did I walk all the way out of here? There's no way. That's impossible. That makes no sense. I would have had to have gone up the... I would have seen. I have no idea what the hell's going on right now. Oh, no. Okay, this is just the last chamber. I'm stupid. What's going on is we're about to enter a boss fight. Because there he is. Looking, as I said before, like a terrible gimmick wrestler from around this period. You know, somebody that Vince McMahon would hire for exactly one fight. The Ultimate Warrior! Wait, no, sorry. Buddy, you're a long way from wherever the fuck you're talking about. Have some of these. At 1500 HP, and we're doing pretty good damage with our water pillar air cutters. I think we're in good shape. Ouch. I think the downside is going to be that I am kind of bad at dodging from some of these garbage camera angles. Yeah, easy fight, provided he doesn't get in my face. Oh god. Shouldn't have said nothing. Oh! 106 damage, alright? Okay, well, first of all, game, you can eat my ass, and second of all, you can eat the rest of me afterwards. I don't have black wings, do I? So I can't just skip past this. Fuck!